Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial. It has been far too long since I've done one of these, and I thought it would be fun to recreate sort of what I consider like my go-to summer makeup look, which is very bronze, glowy skin and paired with some kind of a bold, bright lip. Most likely a reddish orangey shade because that's my jam. Today we're going to be using all affordable drugstore products because I feel like they're the most accessible and easy to get your hands on, so I thought it would be fun to give you guys some budget-friendly options to do your makeup with. And if you are new to my face and new to my channel, my name is Lauren. I am so happy to have you here. Make sure you click that little subscribe button down below, or you can click my face at the end of this video if you want to be notified when I post new content. I'm trying to post more regularly, hopefully 3 times a week, but I would love to have you guys be a part of our community here, and I basically love to review products, chat about beauty, life, and other things, and I hope you'll stick around. So if you're excited to play with some new launches from the drugstore, get some fun tips on how to get makeup that will last all day in this summer heat, and figure out how to recreate this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so let's start out by giving our skin a nice glow and also getting it prepped and primed for foundation. I'm going to be using the Milani Prime Light Face Primer. This one is strobing and pore minimizing. And it has a really nice texture. It's very creamy and hydrating, but it does not make your skin feel greasy, which is nice. And it leaves it with a very pretty iridescent finish. Just going to massage this in. For foundation today, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I have the shade Golden Beige, which might be a little dark for me. I need to get more of a tan, or well, really I feel like I tan from the neck down. My face tends to stay pale because I put so much sunscreen on it all the time, so this actually probably will make me match my body a little bit better. Look at this. Face, arm, face, arm. This is serious shade differential here. And I'm gonna be using my NYX blending sponge just to press this into the skin. I still seriously can't get over the fact that this foundation is $6. It's ridiculous. You can get this at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, pretty much anywhere Wet n Wild is sold, and I don't know if they carry the full line in all the colors at every location, but you can also, I think, order online if your particular shade is difficult to get a hold of. This foundation has a really nice natural finish, so it's not too matte, it's not too dewy, it just looks like skin, it's not too heavy or too cakey, and it is about a medium coverage, but you can build it up if you need to. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using this Milani Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. I have the shade Medium Light number 3. I got this at Gen Beauty, and to be honest, part of the reason I'm using this is because it's literally the only drugstore concealer I have in my house right now. I've been trying to use up things in my collection and not go out and buy a ton of new stuff if I already have a lot of options of that particular type of product, which, let's be real, I kind of have too much of everything right now, so trying to make my way through things. So most of my concealers that I have are high-end, so this is my only drugstore one, and it's nice. The little spongy bit at the top is not as nice as the sponge on the Maybelline brightening concealer, that twist up that everybody is in love with. But the product itself is nice, so I'm just going to squeeze a little out and dot it underneath my eyes. I'm going to blend first with my fingers, and then I'm going to go in and finish blending with the sponge. I feel like the texture on this concealer is very lightweight. The coverage is, again, kind of like this foundation, kind of medium. It's not as full coverage as, say, the Shape Tape or another heavier sort of concealer like the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. That one is really thick, really full coverage. This is sort of more of a medium coverage concealer. It is brightening, it is very hydrating, it's not dry at all. It's got a very nice silky texture to it. So I feel like if you have really seriously dark under eyes, this probably is not going to do enough to cover them up. You may need to color correct as well. But if you just want a little lightness and brightness under your eyes, this is really nice. To To set everything down, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. This is in the shade Warm Light. And again, this is super affordable, like $5 or $6, and it does leave your skin with a really nice satin finish, and it does do a decent job of keeping everything sort of locked into place. I don't find that I get overly greasy when I use this powder, but let's be serious, at this time of year, I feel like there's only so much hope for my skin. In the winter, I'm combination. In the summer, I am an oil slick. Side note, when I'm applying powder, I really like to just tap the product onto my skin. I don't want to move the foundation around and like by sweeping it. So I'm just going to tap it and press it on top of the foundation to lock it into place. So now for the fun part. It's time to bronze up this summery look. Really, I feel like bronzer is what makes this look have the sort of beachy vibe that it does. So we're gonna reach for my favorite from the drugstore, which is probably like everyone's favorite from the drugstore, and it smells like summertime, so of course, how can I not? It is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one's really great for light complexions, fair complexions. If you're more of the like light to medium side of things, it may be a little too light for you, or especially if you're like medium to deep, it's definitely gonna be way too light for you. If you guys have some great recommendations for bronzers for deeper skin tones, put them in the comments down below so that way everybody else can check them out. So I'm gonna be using this complexion brush from Royal & Langnickel. This is, I think, part of their Prismatic Metals. I forget what the name of this collection is, but they are very affordable brushes. Actually, the powder brush I used was also a Moda brush from Royal & Langnickel. You can get it at like Walmart. They're really nice quality and they are very affordable. So I am going to start with some contour, and that's why I like this sort of flat brush, because it is soft enough that I can buff out any harsh edges, but it lets me control exactly where I'm putting the product. So I'd like to start kind of like right at my ear here and blend down along my cheekbone just to kind of create a bit of a shadow. And then I'm gonna dust the color up along my hairline and down kind of along my ear to my jaw. And I'm gonna continue to take this up right along my hairline, basically blending it into my hair a little bit, because I really don't want there to be an edge. I want this to make my skin look nice and tanned. You don't want to like apply bronzer all over your face because that's going to look crazy. This is going to make the center of my face look lighter, and then I'm going to give that tanned illusion around the perimeter. Also, you want to keep the product concentrated more on the outer edge and less as you move in towards the center of the face. You don't want to have like a really harsh line all the way down. You want it to like blend nicely. And then a fun little thing I like to do, I noticed when you get really tan, the bridge of your nose, or at least mine, usually gets a bit more tan. So I'm gonna take some bronzer kind of across my nose here, which is sort of the opposite. I'm not contouring my nose. I'm not trying to create shadows on either side. I'm just trying to add a little bit of warmth to my nose, and I feel like that immediately gives my face a little bit more of like a sun-kissed look. Now, even though this is a very bronzed look, I do want to add just a little bit of warmth to my cheeks with some blush. So this is actually another one from Physicians Formula. This is their Mineral Wear Blushing Air Blushing Blush. This one has SPF 30, which is kind of cool. It's in the shade Natural, which is a really beautiful peachy pink. In my camera, this looks like purple. It is not purple. It is definitely like a neutral peachy pink color. So we are just going to use this little angled Coastal Scents brush to apply a little bit of this to the apples of the cheeks and then blend backwards. And I kind of like to take this just above where I applied the bronzer. Now, of course, it would not be summer without a bit of glow, and this is something I've been totally obsessed with for the last like month and a half or so. It is a highlighter from Milani, and I had the hardest time finding this. I found it at Walmart, and it was sold out in most of the colors, but I do really like the one that I picked up, which is number 3, Sunglow, and this is their Strobelight Instant Glow Powder. Look at how pretty. Oh, it is just super stunning. Can we just do a little swatch? This gives your skin just a really beautiful goldeny glow. It is probably a little too dark for very fair complexions, but if you're more in the light medium complexion, I think this will look gorgeous on your skin. And I'm just gonna apply this with a Royal & Langnickel highlight and glow brush. I feel like I'm glowing a little bit from outer space. So pretty, love it. So when it comes to like the best eyebrow product to use in the summertime, hands down my favorite is this NYX Eyebrow Gel. This stuff is so freaking waterproof, like it will not melt off. You could be at the beach, the pool, wherever, and it is just like bam in your brows. It does not budge, which is so nice, especially if you have oily skin like mine, because the worst thing is like you accidentally like itch your eyebrow and then you just have like brow product smeared and it does not look, it's not cute, not a good situation. So the one thing I will say about this is you do need to get a brush to apply it with. I have a NYX one here, but I know like e.l.f. makes a dual-sided brow brush that's very affordable. And this will give you way more like Instagram-y looking brows if you like that look. If you like things that are more natural, make sure you wipe most of the product off the brush before you apply it to your brows, otherwise it's gonna look super intense. So this definitely is one of those products you kind of have to learn to use a little bit, but once you put forth that effort and kind of make friends with it, it's bomb. So I actually like to apply this to like a tissue or a palette as opposed to the back of my hand, because it's so hard to get off that like with soap and water you can't wash it off. You need like an oil-based eye makeup remover, which is kind of the pain in the butt, so I don't want to get it all over my hands right now. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this on the brush, kind of wipe off the excess. And I like to start with the tail end of my brows. I'm gonna brush the hair down first so I can kind of create the top edge, because that one for me is always the trickiest. And then when I have less product on my brows, then I bring it more into the center, so that way it will be less intense. So now that brows are done, let's move on to eyes. I'm going to be using this new little palette from Maybelline. This is the City Mini palette in Rooftop Bronzes. I thought these colors would look really nice with the look that we're creating. This is very affordable, I think like $7, $8. I found mine at Bed Bath & Beyond. I know they also have them online at Ulta. And they released a whole bunch of little palettes like this in a bunch of different shade varieties. This one I saw so many great swatches of online and on videos and things, so this was the one that I knew I wanted to get because the swatches looked bomb. Let me show you. These do feel ridiculously buttery. Which for a drugstore shadow, especially for a Maybelline shadow, is really impressive because their formula has not always been my favorite. So I was really pleased with this, and I have been playing with it a little bit, so I'll show you kind of the look that I've been doing lately with this palette. So since this is all shimmery, I'm actually going to use my bronzer as a crease transition shade. This is one of those little makeup hack tipped kind of things that a lot of beauty gurus know about. So we're gonna fluff this into the crease as a nice blending transition. This is just a NYX blending brush, so soft. I love this brush. So now I think I'm gonna take this shade right here and I'm going to apply this all over the lid. I'm gonna use a nice flat eyeshadow brush. This is another Royal & Langnickel one. Truthfully, I think these shadows really apply best with your fingers, but they're not so bad with a brush. You can definitely like really build the intensity up if you apply it with your fingers for sure. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip into this nice gold shade here, and I'm just gonna use my ring finger. Oh, it feels so nice. And I'm just gonna pat this right in the very center of the lid just to add a little pop of lightness and brightness. Next, I'm gonna go back in with my definer brush, and I'm gonna take this darkest shade here in the bottom right of the palette. I'm just gonna get a little bit on the edge of the brush, and I'm gonna tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna gently fluff this a little bit. So this I'm gonna use more of a sweeping motion right into the outer V of the eye, just to add a little extra depth. And then I'm gonna go in with my fluffy crease brush here and just blend that edge out so that it is not so harsh. Now I'm gonna want to add some balance to the lower part of my eyes. So I'm gonna go in with that first bronze shade and a little angled liner brush here. And I'm going to take this right underneath the lower lash line. And then in the very outer edge, I'm gonna pick up some of this darkest color, and I'm just going to take that right close to the lash line, just kind of in like the outer third. Now I have this little crown brush, a lip brush actually, and I love this for like detailed highlighting. I never use it for lip products. This is the C464 brush. And so I'm gonna start with doing a little bit of brow bone highlight using this top shade here in the left. I'm just gonna take a little bit, tap off the excess because this shade's a little bit powdery, and I'm just gonna take this right up underneath the brow. And actually that like looks almost identical to that Milani highlight, I realize now. And then for like a bam inner corner, this shade right here is like the most stunning, glittery, gorgeousness ever. So I'm gonna take this brush because it is a little bit more dense and flat. It's good for packing shadow on. And I'm just going to press that color into the inner corner of my eye. Now, to be honest, I've been not really wearing eyeliner very much lately. I do really love the look of a sharp black wing, but most days I'm just like way too lazy to fuss with it, and I actually like the look of a little bit more natural eye. I feel like if I'm gonna wear really intense liner, then I kind of have to wear lashes, otherwise my eyes look unbalanced, and sometimes you just don't have time for that. So today we're just gonna do mascara, no lashes. So I'm gonna add a little bit of liner, but I'm gonna use a pencil, and I'm gonna use a brown shade because I think that just looks a little bit more natural. This is from the brand Note. It's their ultra rich color eye pencil in the shade Caffe. This brand just became available at Ulta. So I'm just gonna line my top lashes, keep things really close to the tight line. I'm not going to line my waterline or anything like that. This will add just a little bit of definition, but it's not gonna look too dramatic. I have to say, the formula on this is not my favorite. It's a little stiff. I do prefer creamier pencils, but I needed something brown, and this is the only one that I had that was Drugstore, so you just gotta roll with things sometimes. So for a mascara, this one has been super hyped lately, so I kind of wanted to weigh in my thoughts on it, and it is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. I have to say, I do really like this a lot. I think that over the course of several weeks of having it, it does get clumpier as it dries out, but the brush still does have enough bristles that you can work it through and kind of work those clumps out. But it is super, super volumizing while still making your lashes like sort of separated and fluttery. It's really, really nice. A lot of people have compared it to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I actually think I like this mascara better than that one, and this is like $9, so. Considering the fact that you are not supposed to keep mascara for more than 3 months, I think that the drugstore is definitely the way to go, or minis. That's what I will always say. Just way better bang for your buck. So the one thing I will say I've noticed just in general, curling your lashes makes a huge difference, especially if your lashes are very straight. This mascara will hold a curl really well, but it won't necessarily add the curl for you. So if you curl your lashes first and then apply this mascara, it will keep them there. But if you don't curl them first, you'll get the volume, but it won't be as noticeable because it's not gonna necessarily lift the lashes as much as if you didn't curl it first. Know what I mean? That's just one coat. Like, seriously, I think that this just does amazing things for your lashes. I love the way that this looks. A+ in my book. And of course, the little signature Lauren bit of this look, a red orange lip. This is one of the new Superstay matte inks from Maybelline. It's in the shade Heroine, and this has been giving me so much life lately. I love, number one, this color, but also this formula. It is extremely long wearing. It is very, very transfer resistant, but it's not drying. It's not like one of those liquid lipsticks that kind of goes on top of your lips and creates a layer that can crack and crumble off. It almost feels like it becomes one with your lips, but it's not a stain. It's a very interesting, almost like gel-like texture that is kind of like a hybrid between a liquid lipstick and a lip stain. It's very unique. I've never tried anything quite like this, and I think that it is bomb. Oh, ooh, good. I may or may not have just flung lipstick on my carpet. Great. I also really like the applicator on this because it comes to a nice fine point and it has the divot in the middle that holds product so you don't have to keep dipping the wand back into the bottle. Now I will say that this product does stay a bit tacky for a while. It will dry down, and once it's completely dry, if you really smush your lips together, you will feel them stick just a little bit, which is the one kind of annoying thing about this product. But once it's fully dry, it doesn't like pull itself apart and it really does not transfer. So I'll give you guys the kiss test a little bit later once this had a chance to set in. And of course, because we want to lock in our whole face here, I'm going to use this Milani Make It Last setting spray. I feel like I'm so late to the game with this. This came out a while ago, but I never got it. And then I couldn't find it because it kept being sold out at all of the drugstores near me. But I finally got my hands on it and it is just as good as everybody said that it was. The mist on this especially is really nice. It doesn't like attack you and leave like giant water droplets all over your face and ruin your makeup, which is very nice. So this is the completed look. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This highlighter though is like, oh, I can't. It is so beautiful. If you can get your hands on that Milani highlight, definitely worth it. It is so amazing for the price, just as good as so many high-end highlighters that I've tried. And this lipstick is just incredible. I love the color and I love the staying power, which I told you. As you can see, there's like a teeny tiny little crusty bit there, probably because there were some areas that I applied maybe a little bit too much product, did not spread it out evenly, but for the most part, I mean, that's pretty good. If you enjoyed this tutorial or found it helpful and interesting, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. And again, if you're new and you want to stick around and see more of my face, make sure you click that little subscribe button down below. That way you can follow me whenever I post new content. I hope you all are having an amazing week so far, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.